Hello and welcome back everyone to this latest demo session on SAP ABAP on HANA come S4 HANA technical training with me Anubhav. In this live demo session today, we are going to talk about the basic introduction of ABAP on HANA. We are also going to see a demo scenario live in SAP system for our S4 HANA embedded analytics. So let's get started and understand what's the agenda of our today's demo session. First, we will try and understand how is this course designed and who is this course for. We'll try to map it to the developer persona and see and understand how can this course will help you to do your job better as a ABAP consultant or as a BW or S4HANA consultant. Then we will talk about the overview of this training. What can you expect in the next 40 hours? Furthermore, we will see our demo scenario for today, followed by a live system demo. Towards the end, we will discuss about some of the most asked questions by all of you. And finally, we will have live question and answers from your end for this training. So let's understand who is this course for. This is our developer persona to understand how can this course help you to develop applications. So if you are working like Glory Matthew, who's an ABAP consultant, and are looking for embracing the change in the technology and would like to run your existing ABAP code better on HANA database, this training is certainly going to help you. If you're working as Mark Peter, as a Scrum professional, and would like to understand how S4 HANA based project developments are going to continue and estimate for the better tomorrow, this training is also going to help you. If you are Hussein Ahmed, who's an existing BW consultant and would like to build CDS views to create data analytics and expose your BAX queries and using CDS views to OLAP tools like Analytics Cloud, this training is also going to help you. Finally, if you are like Munir Walia, who is any SAP consultant and would like to learn and build amazing Fiori applications on top of CDS views and exploit full computational power of HANA and S4 HANA, this training is especially designed for you as well. All in all, anyone who have no ABAP experience or have little ABAP experience can attend this training to learn and build amazing applications on top of S4 HANA solution. Also understand the basics of HANA as part of the training. Now let's talk about the overview of this training. What can you expect in next 40 hours? This is just a brief overview. So first phase, we will start with new features in ABAP language. We'll talk about the development tools like ABAP development tool on Eclipse, Business Application Studio and VS Code development tool, which are essential tool for any ABAP consultant or S4HANA consultant today. We will learn how the evolution of SAP NetWeaver has happened with latest ABAP syntax, SQL syntax, and lot of frameworks like BOPF, integrated data access, and fuzzy search. In the second phase, we will learn and understand the basics of HANA, its architecture, and main modeling concepts in HANA. We'll start with basics of HANA. What is in-memory computing engine, its architecture, different components inside, how ABAP meets HANA, and then we will see how to utilize SAP HANA and its tooling to develop information models like calculation views. Finally, learn how to consume these calculation views using view proxies and ADBC approach in ABAP language. Then in the third phase, we'll talk about S4 HANA in detail. We'll learn what is S4 HANA, how it's different from ECC solution. We'll discuss about the virtual data modeling in S4 HANA and how do you migrate your existing ECC code to S4 HANA. We'll talk about S4 HANA code conversion, custom code conversion with VDM. Finally, the main topic of this training, which includes CDS view development, including ABAP managed data procedure, AMDPs, and also OData and Fiori app development using latest frameworks like BOPF integration is part of this training. So we will learn how to build end-to-end Fiori applications, smart template applications, overview page applications, analytic page, list page applications using annotations, CDS views, and virtual data models in S4HANA to get better performance and learn how to develop completely new dimensional applications in SAP world. So all of this we will be covering as part of this training. So what can you expect in today's demo? These are the steps which we will follow in today's demo session. We will start our ABAP development tool on Eclipse. Then we will learn how to create our first CDS view for today in S4HANA system. We will enrich our view with something called annotations for our use case. We will create a OData service so that we can eventually build a application which can run in browser, essentially a Fiori application. And then finally, we will see how to utilize SAP S4HANA embedded analytics using analytic list page to display this data on a completely live application in our development tool. Having said that, uh, you can see that in today's session, we are going to take a sample use case for performing these 5 steps. Please note that it's a demo session. So in today's session, I'm not going to show you how did I set up the different development tools. But in today's demo session, I'm going to directly take you to the system and develop our use case. But later point of time, I will, in the coming classes, show you how did I also set up our development tools in our computer. Yeah. So what is our use case for today? Our use case for today is to build a S4HANA application to display Netflix data. So I'm sure many of you are aware of Netflix. It's basically a OTT platform to showcase latest TV shows as well as movies of different styles and content. There are millions of hours of content available on this OTT platform. So we would like to today design and develop an application to show to analyze different shows and movies to distribute across different types of profiles, different genre. So that is what we need to do. We will show the distribution of these different movies and the votes across different genre. So we will switch over back and we will have a database table in our system, which I have already designed and developed for this demo scenario today. And we will be developing a view. So before we get into the system, let's understand a basic introduction of what is CDS view. So CDS views are basically the backbone for any S4HANA system. So CDS stands for Core Data and Services. It is an extension of SQL, OpenSQL in S4HANA system. So in the past, you used to develop reports in or BEX queries in ABAP systems like BW or ECC. But now CDS views are basically the main data models for the new S4HANA system. So CDS view will act like a data model to expose our ERP data with joins, selections, and conditions. So all of that will go inside CDS view. Why CDS view? What is the advantage as compared to SQL? So CDS views are always better in terms of performance because they execute all the logic deep into the HANA database. So SAP have this so-called new in-memory database called HANA. We are going to cover introduction of HANA in our unit number 2 in this training in detail. So just understand that we have something called HANA database and all the logic is now processed inside the HANA database. So this is the main advantage what CDS view gives. Apart from that, the CDS also provides concept of annotation. Yes, annotations starts with add the rate of symbol when we develop a CDS view so that it can enrich our data model with extra information, yes, which enriches our functionality to develop end-to-end applications. So this is the greatest advantage what we get when it comes to CDS view. So what we will do is we will have our database table for our demo scenario, our Netflix shows and movies. And on top of this table, we are going to build a CDS view. Yes, we will build this CDS view, and then eventually to display data to the user, we are going to build a application. So nowadays, all the applications are built using SAP Fiori. Yes, so SAP Fiori is SAP's new user experience to build applications end to end. Now, your applications runs into the browser. So your CDS view cannot supply the data to the browser directly. Yes, and in the browser, you cannot fire the select query. Yes, so that's why we also create something called a OData service in the middle. A OData service is responsible to expose your ERP data over the internet to the Fiori application. So this is what it typically does when it comes to exposing our ERP data. Yeah. So we will be developing a view, a OData service, and a Fiori app. Now, to develop these things, we would need the tools. So any development is incomplete without the tools. So what tools are we going to use to develop our application? So first of all, to build CDS view, we will use a tool called ADT. ADT is a short form of ABAP development tool on Eclipse. Today's session, it's a demo, so I have already created the ADT installation in my computer. We will be using that, but in coming classes, I will show you how to set up ADT yourself in your personal computer or office laptop. So that is also part of this training. So this training is for absolute beginner or intermediate level also, where you will learn end-to-end setup of all the development tools. So this is our first development tool we'll be using. And the second development tool which we'll be using is called BAS, Business Application Studio tool, which is responsible to create Fiori application for us. So what are we waiting? Let's go to our demo scenario. So I'm going to switch over back to the system. And I have got this demo data table, just one small simple table where we have the Netflix information of Netflix shows and movies. Yes. So we have the title, we have the year, we have the certificate, the duration of this show or movie. We have genre, then we have rating and votes. Yeah. So this is the information we have. If I just do an F8, you can see this is the data what we have for different genre, and we have the title of the movies, the year they publish, certificate, rating, and votes. So our goal is to now develop a view which can expose this data out to show the details about different genre. So let's go ahead and do that. So our goal is to find out how many total votes were published against each genre. So this is our requirement. So we need to aggregate all the votes by genre. So I will be developing a CDS view now. To do that, we're going to right click on my left side. Now this development tool is the ADT development tool, which I was telling you about. I will show you how to set up this tool in unit number 3 in our training. So today is just a demo, so I just going ahead and directly creating the things. So let's create a CDS view. So I'm going to create a core data and service data definition, and I'm going to just choose here Z EDS and about trainings, Netflix. So I'm going to develop Netflix demo scenario and click next, finish. So what system does, it creates a basic skeleton for me as a CDS view. And over here, we can give a view name. So this will be the actual physical object which gets created in the database with this name. And these are some of the annotations which are generated out of the box. We are going to learn about these annotations in detail. Every single line I will explain in unit number 12, 13, and 14. So we're going to spend 1 hour only on this part. So right now, let's ignore it and proceed further. And we will put here our database table name as Netflix. Yeah. And let's insert all the fields. So you can see it's very similar to SQL. Yeah, very similar to SQL. We're just selecting data. And now the main part of CDS comes into picture when we add annotations. So we're going to add here a couple of annotations because we want to do a total of votes. So we will add a default aggregation annotation with option called sum. And then we will say rating also we can do sum, duration also we can do sum. Yes. So this is where we can do sum. And in addition, we can specify labels, what I want to show on my application. So I can say end user text dot label, and I can say title of the show. Then I can say year in which it was published. Then I can say certificate. We can put here the duration of the movie in minutes. Yes. Then we say the kind of movie it is. Then we have the rating. And finally, we have the number of votes this has got. So these annotations have a special meaning, a special power. Let me also just try to put here my name, Anubhav, so you can understand later point of time what is the significance of this annotation. Yeah. So we added some annotations over here, and now it's time to also mark analytic data category as cube, because we want to aggregate the data and finally create a OData service out of this view. So as I told you that eventually we would like to display all the data in a Fiori application. Yes. So since we want to display everything in a Fiori application, we must create a OData service. So a OData service is responsible for exposing your ERP data over the browser. That is the purpose of OData service. So that is why we are putting this annotation OData publish. There are many ways to create OData services in SAP system, which we will talk in unit number 14 in detail. I will also cover the complementary session for you on basics of OData. If you are very new to OData, don't worry. I'm going to cover this complementary session also on OData later point of time. Good. So I think we are good with this view, and we can just simply activate this view. And that's our first CDS view to expose our data. I can F8 and you see this is our data set. And now it's time that we register our OData service. So we just created the service, but the service needs to be exposed. It needs to be registered. To do that, we can just hover the mouse and you see this is the generated OData service. I can copy the name, Control C, and I open a GUI window over here to activate my service. So we use /iwfnd/mean service transaction code in our S4HANA system to activate this OData service out of our system to carry our data. So we just register this now, and we will have a fully registered OData service. If you want to test now this same data in the browser, you can do that. So just go to the CDS navigator, and in this you see this OData publish, and you can just double click to open and test. You can see this is our data in the browser. Wow. So in just 10 minutes, we were able to expose our data over the browser. Yes, you can see I can just show you some demo data on the browser, and you see this is a movie name or the show name, show title, and you can see the year published, the certificate rating, and all the data is coming right over there on the UI. So that is how exactly we can get our data out of SAP system over the browser. And now, you know, the sky's the limit. You can use it for an Android application or analytics cloud or third-party application, or even you can build the Fiori app. So it's time to build the Fiori app. So our phase one was to open ADT tool, develop CDS view, add annotations to the CDS view, and next step is to register the service, and finally we will now build a Fiori app. To build the Fiori app, I told you the tool name is Business Application Studio. I'm going to cover introduction of this tool and how did I set up this tool from the beginning, from the step one, as a fresher, as a college fresher you are for me, in unit number 11. But right now I have already set up this for you for today's demo session. So I'm just going to go ahead inside this tool. So here we can now develop an app. I'm sure many of you have never heard about Fiori. Some of you have heard about Fiori but never worked. Don't worry. This training is designed end to end. So you can develop Fiori apps also without any prior experience or knowledge. Yeah. So this is the development tool we use. So let's create an application, Fiori application, which will expose this data. So I'm going to go inside, create a Fiori application in this tool. And here we are going to answer some simple questions. So first I want to start with the analytic list page report application. We will connect to our system. So this connection I will show you in unit number 10. How did I do that? But if you are a beginner, don't worry. We're going to do that in unit 10. I'm just going to use the connection which I've already added before the demo. So I can demonstrate you the scenario end to end. So let me connect to the system and I will use my SAP S/4HANA system. And now it is scanning all the list of services present in my SAP system. So we have already created a service, which is what I'm going to use. So let it go. Yes, and I can just enter my service name. So let's go back to CDS name, copy that name, and come here, enter. Yes, we found. We choose the service name. We click on next button, and everything is good. Just say next and give the project name. So this is a complete end-to-end application to analyze Netflix data. So I can say Netflix app, and everything is good. I can simply say finish. So the moment I say finish, the system is going to generate an application Netflix app automatically for us. So you see there is zero experience required to develop this kind of application. Is absolutely no experience required, and anyone who is just a beginner also can develop. And we will learn end-to-end life cycle, not just development. We learn design, development, packaging, deployment, integration, exposing this app to the end user, transporting to production system. Everything will be part of this training end to end. But you need to understand that it's just a demo today. I cannot cover everything in just one class. We need to go through this entire training slowly to learn all these things. But this gives you a good idea of how we are doing the top to bottom, the phase-wise development. First, we build the CDS view, then we build OData. Finally, we test the OData service, and now we build a Fiori app using the BAS tool. Yes. So all these toolings, all these learnings, everything with the theory, everything we will be covering in detail. Each and every lecture will be of 2 hours. It's a weekend batch. We will have it for 20 classes. Each class is of 2 hours, so total duration will be 40 hours for this course. Yeah. Okay, so that's our application, but how do I test it now? We can test our application very easily directly here in the tool itself. So it's not like you need to deploy to test it. You can directly test it. First you test, you ensure that everything is fulfilled, all your requirements are fulfilled, you're happy with the application. You can demo this to your business users, and once they are happy is when you can deploy this application. So that's the beauty the Business Application Studio tool gives us. Yes. So we will be learning about this tool in detail. How did I come here? How did I did connections? Everything we will be covering as part of our training in detail. So now you can see it is also installing all the necessary dependencies which are required, and you see the project is also generated now. So we can just go ahead and test our application now directly on this BAS tool. Yes. So you can see we can just go ahead and test. So I come down to preview application and just say start my application. So this is going to start our application now, where we are going to get a pretty much empty application, of course, because we have not added much of annotations required to develop this app. Yes. So let's see what happens now. It's going to show us an empty application without any much information on the user interface. You can see it's booting up, and you see we do not have anything here, no chart, nothing. So now let's add a chart. To do that, we're going to switch over back to CDS view. And as you know, in school days, we used to create charts. So we have basically something called x-axis and y-axis. So on x-axis, we add category, and on y-axis, we add measures. So in SAP, this is called dimension, and y-axis is called measure. So it's just a terminology change. Yeah. So now I'm going to add a dimension and the measure. So we will add a chart, define a chart, And we will say, what are all my dimensions and what are my measures? So what I can allow to put on x-axis. So on x-axis, I put geno, and on y-axis, I can put the number of total votes got for each geno. And then we can put dimension attributes. So we can specify here dimension name. So let's put the dimension name, and we can put here the role, and this is my category. Then we have measure attributes. We can put measure name, and we can put here measure name as votes. Role is axis1 and as data point. So this is my y-axis. And what type of chart I want to build. So I would like to show a column chart. So I do control space. It shows me all the list of chart types. So that creates my chart. This is how exactly we can utilize CDS. So I'm going to explain each and every bit of it also again in detail when we reach to unit number 15, where we'll talk about S4HANA embedded analytics. Now moving on, we can just go ahead and add here the columns. You see the table is also empty. So we can add columns to the table. So let me add here UI line item annotation. Line item is basically for table, and we can position our column number 1, column number 2, column number 3, column number 4, column number 5, column number 6. Yes. So this is all I can add now, and let me activate my CDS view. So you will see the power of these annotations comes into real handy, in real scenarios. I can refresh now, and now we will see the annotations which we added to the view will take into the effect over here on the UI. So let us refresh and let's see what happens. We should get over here now. We should ideally get the data. Yes, there you go. You can see title, year, certificate, duration, kind, and Anubhav. You see, remember we added a annotation Anubhav over there, and that's the magic of that label annotation on the user interface. And now you see different genres, and for each genre, how many ratings were given. You can further do a lot of things here. You can go to settings, and you can go to sorting, filtering. Yes, you can just go ahead and you can just put anything. You can you want to filter data, sort data. Yes, I wanted to sort data based on for example votes. Yes, or anything I would like to sort my data based on in descending order, I can do that. Yes, I can change the chart settings. Yes, there is a lot we can control over here. Click OK, and you see the data will get now sorted. Yes, you see the highest number of votes were came into this geno, which is action, adventure, and drama. And if I click here, watch out, I click, there is a filtering also, there is a drill down also done into the table, and it shows the total duration of content and total votes which were casted for these different series. You see, Netflix also have the Indian cinema star Bahubali, and there are a lot of them which are also available over here under this category of movie. You can further increase the size of the chart. You can change the chart type to pie chart, donut chart, and there are variety of functions which our user can perform right away out of the box on our data set. Right over there, there is also out of the box export Excel functionality, and there's a lot which we can carry out when it comes to working with this entire application, which is called analytic list page. So this is the main advantage, or this is the kind of applications you can build in no time with S4HANA architecture. So moving on to some of the top asked questions by you in the past, by your seniors. So do I need to have prior knowledge of HANA to attend this training? No, you don't need to have any prior knowledge of SAP HANA. We are going to cover HANA Foundation also for you in this course. You're absolute beginner, no problem. We will cover HANA basics for you, including HANA modeling. How much of ABAP knowledge is required for this course? So only basic ABAP is enough, like DDIC, internal table, basic syntax, and function module. If you know in ABAP, that's more than enough. But again, if you don't know ABAP, it's okay. Just 30% of this course require ABAP knowledge. Remaining 70% of the topics doesn't require any ABAP skills here. Yes, rest of the topics are as new as for ABAPers as for you. I'm also a BW or BI consultant. Can I learn ABAP on HANA? For sure, and you must, because all the companies nowadays using S4HANA embedded analytics with CDS views. So it is extremely important for BW consultants also to learn ABAP on HANA or CDS modeling, basically, with BEX. So that is what we will cover in this training. How much deep knowledge of OOPS is required? No deep knowledge OOPS. You just need to know basic of class, interface, and object. That's more than enough. What about server access? So yes, we can arrange a server access for you if you do not have a server in your company. So you can do hands-on along with this training. So you will have complete end-to-end experience with Anubhav trainings for this training. Yes. So if you do not have a server, we have a fully activated S4HANA appliance for you, which I will guide you in Unit 3 how to get the server access in detail. We have a detailed lecture on this topic. So please wait for Unit 3 where I will tell you the options to get a server access so that you can practice. Yeah. Which version of S4HANA we are going to use in this course? We will use latest S4HANA on-premise 2021 with HANA 2.0 ABA layer as part of this training. And how much time we are going to spend on CDS view topic, as that's the main topic for you, majority of you. So we'll spend around 40% of time on CDS view topics and around it. Do I need any prior OData experience? No, you don't need any prior OData experience. We are going to cover complementary OData session also for you in this training. Can I also take this course in video mode if timing doesn't suit me? Yes, you can. So if you are kind of in hurry to complete, you can go with video mode training of latest videos of most recently completed batch last week. So you can also start with that if the timing does not suit you, or if you want to fast track your learning, you don't want to come for regular classes. What tools are we going to use in this course? So we're going to use the tools like ADT, ABAP development tool on Eclipse. We will use the Business Application Studio tool as I showed you to build Fiori apps. How do I join the course? Very simple. To join this course, just email us on contact@anubhavtrainings.com. That's the simplest way to join this course. Just email us on contact@anubhavtrainings.com and you will be signed up for this training. Yes. So this brings me to the end of our today's session. Reading is essential for those who seek to rise above the ordinary. That's a very, very important statement. It is essential for your growth that you constantly keep upgrading yourself. Remember, if you're not upgrading and you're just living a regular life, then you are downgrading naturally because the world is upgrading fast. Yes. So this is the time to take action and get the respect back into your company, what you deserve, by learning ABAP on HANA come S4HANA. With that, thank you so much for joining the session today, this demo session. And I hope to see you in my next class tomorrow, same time. Have a nice day and goodbye.